This is Lucas Ross Sports. Lucas Ross, your commentator. We continue our 2022 college football predictions. The Tennessee Volunteers are up next. I'll give my thoughts on this team, give you my official prediction for this team, and preview the schedule, and I will go from there. But before we do that, let's look back at 2021 for this Tennessee team. Recapping 2021 for Tennessee, 7-5 under first-year head coach Josh Heupel. They went 7-6 though. They lost their bowl game in the Music City Bowl. Looking at these offense and defensive rankings from last year's team, they were 7th on offense and total offense. I mean, that offense really was explosive last year for Tennessee. Defensively, they were 90th on defense. That defense has a lot to improve this season. I mean, they do lose some key players on that side of the ball, but they should be still talented on that side of the ball just a little bit. Look at the points per game and opponents per game for this Tennessee team. 39.3 points on the offensive side of the ball. Like I said, they were really explosive on that side of the ball last year. 29.1 points given up on the defensive side of the ball. Defense just has a lot to improve. I mean, I think that offense will be good enough. Defensively is the question mark there for this Tennessee team. My thoughts on this team, and if you guys do follow me on this channel, I am a Tennessee fan. I am really honest with this prediction for Tennessee on this video today, and also I'm really honest with Tennessee's record. But my thoughts on this team, there's a lot of hype for them coming into this season. Hendon Hooker back at quarterback. I mean, they're going to bring back on the offensive side of the ball, a lot on the offensive side of the ball. And here's the schedule for Tennessee for the upcoming season. You look at who they play out of the non-conference. They'll play Ball State, Pittsburgh on the road, Akron at home, and also UT Martin out of the non-conference. So once again, the non-conference schedule not too bad for Tennessee this upcoming season, but it's all about that first game. Ball State on September 1st. This game is on a Thursday night. Should be a really loud crowd for the season opener game against Ball State. They should take care of business in this game. I see Tennessee scoring more than 30 points in this one. I'm going to go with the Volunteers to get the win. Then there's that game on the road at Pittsburgh. I think this game is kind of similar to last year. Close game, but, a lot different. I think that Tennessee offense, is what makes the, story in this one. I think that's what makes Tennessee, win this game. I think the offense does really slow down this Pitt defense. The defense can really slow down, the Pittsburgh offense. I think Tennessee has a chance to maybe win this one by a lot of points, but I'm going to go with Tennessee in a close game against Pittsburgh here. Then they take care of business against Akron. I got them starting out 3-0. Next game at home against Florida here on September 24th. Big game here in the SEC East. These two teams are pretty even. Florida, though, has, the talent on the depth chart, but, it just comes down to that quarterback position for Florida. This game is a tough one for me to call. It's one of those games. It's one of those coin flip type games. I'm going to go with Tennessee, though. They're the home team in this one. I got Tennessee defeating Florida this season on September 24th. That will be a close game, though. Don't really sleep on it. It's a potential loss, but I think Tennessee will defeat them just because home field advantage plays them in this one. And Tennessee is 4-0 heading into October now. They get a bye week rather early in the season. Good spot, though, I think, for a bye week. They'll play on the road at LSU. Tough place to play here in Death Valley. I think the last time Tennessee went to Death Valley was probably back in 2006, where they beat LSU. I think they came back in that game. It's really hard to tell, but, Tennessee, though, they're heading on the road in this game. It's a tough place to play. LSU has a lot of question marks, though. A lot of question marks with that quarterback position. They brought in some transfers, though. This game, though, is a tough one to call. I'm going to go with home field advantage. It's one of those coin flip type games. I'm going to go with Tennessee to lose this one on the road at LSU, and LSU will give Tennessee their first loss of the season. Next game at home against Alabama, the third Saturday in October game here. And this is kind of tough. As a Tennessee fan, it's tough to play Alabama every single year out of the SEC West because it's a rival game. I mean, Tennessee, though, I think they will compete in this game till the fourth quarter. Like I said, my Alabama video, I think they will bring this one into the fourth quarter. End of the day, though, Alabama just overall too talented. I'm going to go with Alabama to defeat Tennessee here at home. It will be a tough loss there. I think Tennessee is similar to last year. They'll run out of gas in the fourth quarter. Tennessee, though, will lose that one. But they take care of business. They get a break there with UT Martin. They'll take care of business in that game. And I got Tennessee now sitting at 5-2. Next game at home against Kentucky. This is going to be a good one here. I think this game is kind of similar to last year. It goes either way. Two great offensive teams here. Will Levis versus Hendon Hooker should be a great quarterback competition. Maybe perhaps two of the best quarterbacks out of the best three quarterbacks in the SEC East this season as well. But it's home field advantage, and also it's a coin flip. A tough one for me here to call. I'm going to go with home field advantage, though. I'm going to say that Tennessee defeats Kentucky here. It's kind of similar to last year. I mean, it just goes either way, but I think Tennessee does come away with the win. They're playing at home, so that's good news. Then they get to the month of November now with a record at 6-2. They play on the road here at Georgia. Georgia going to be young on defense this season, but they should really be good by this time around. I think Georgia, though, they're just too experienced. I don't really see Tennessee going on the road and competing in this game. Maybe first quarter they do compete, but it won't be enough. I think Georgia just too talented. But Stetson Bennett versus Hendon Hooker is going to be a great quarterback matchup, but I think Tennessee does not win this one. I don't really see them going into Athens and pulling off an upset. I think, it's a loss there for Tennessee. Next game at home against Missouri. They get back here at home. This game last year was not even close. It was a blowout by Tennessee. I think it's similar to that from last year as well. I think Tennessee should score more than, 30 points in this game, and I got them defeating Missouri here on November 12th. Then they play South Carolina on the road on November 19th. This is going to be a good one. This is a really good one every single year, it seems like. Tennessee and South Carolina, it seems like when they step out on the field every single year, it's always going to be a tough matchup. This one is on the road. I know the game was not even close last year, but it's a tough one to call because it's in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm going to go with home field advantage. I'm going to be really honest with this prediction. I'm going to go with South Carolina to defeat Tennessee. I think as a Tennessee fan, that's pretty tough to lose, but I'm really honest when I do these predictions for Tennessee. I'm really honest with their record, and I'm really honest about their game here. Next game and the last game of the season against Vanderbilt here on the road. Tennessee should go in there and probably perhaps win this one by a big margin. I think Vanderbilt competes in there for a few minutes, but then it will be a big win here for Tennessee at the end of the season on the road at Vanderbilt. And I think Tennessee does to finish out 8-4 in 2022. I could see this team going 7-5 though. I mean, Pittsburgh is a potential loss, but 9-3 is possible as well. They could end up beating South Carolina on the road, but Georgia, LSU, I think, is a potential win, but Alabama and Georgia, they won't win those games this season. It could go either way, but you never know. So that concludes my prediction for Tennessee, though, for 2022. Stay tuned here for more on Lucas Ross Sports.